Good morning. This is Sue from Moulton Farm Garden Center, and we're just going to touch base on some hydrangea care. Got lots of questions and folks coming in right now about why their hydrangeas aren't blooming and they're not doing well, and can I cut those ugly sticks down out of them? And usually my answer to them is I have a couple questions to ask them about cutting back in the fall and fertilizing and where they have them placed in their garden. So to start with, I would say in the North Country up here, we do not cut back hydrangeas unless you want to clean them up and just cut back a blossom after they've gone by to the next bracket of leaves here. So you would just take off the top here, right down to the next bracket, if you just want to tidy them up and clean them up. Otherwise, leave them. Our seasons aren't quite long enough up here to trim back your hydrangeas, and a lot of hydrangeas do put out their new growth on old stem. So you want to wait in the spring. The stems are ugly, yes, leave them, and if you watch, you will see that on some of these, if I can get a picture here, see a lot of this that looks a little woody. These stems, that's the growth from last year. Now, when you see this here, this is this year's growth. It's nice and tender, okay? That is coming off of the old stem. And so therefore, you want to leave your stems because your growth is coming off that. And look, at the end of that new growth from the old stem is where your buds are happening. So, three things: make sure they're watered, make sure they're in the right light for the right type of hydrangea. Check your tags. Your tags have a lot of information on them for you. We can help you out here as well with questions, but you want to place them in the right type of light. And then fertilizer. So fertilize in the spring. A nice light solution of just a 10-10-10, a 5-5-5, whatever you've got, just to kind of wake things up and get them going. And then if you, a lot of you have these ones that are colored, they call for certain types of fertilizers. So you're going to want to look at the back to see which one. A lot of the blue ones, I'm going to swap here to a different shrub. A lot of these old-fashioned blue ones, same thing. Just pay attention to where your stems are after they've come. After they've come up and all your new growth is filling out, you can now go in and take some of these old stems and trim them out if it's unsightly for you, and just cut them right off. But see, as you can see, there's still green in there, so you don't want to trim them too early in the spring. Wait until you start to see the growth coming up and your buds starting to form, and then you can go back in and clean up. And we'll go back to the fertilizer on these, and a lot of them want a certain type of fertilizer. Your old-fashioned blue ones like that aluminum sulfate fertilizer. A lot of the garden centers here at Moulton's, we carry a hydrangea food, and as well as a lot of other places. But keep in mind, it might be blue this year because of the way that we're treating them at garden centers and places where you pick up this plant material. But you will have to, once you plant them in your garden, you'll have to keep amending them with the fertilizer to keep them looking their beautiful color, just like when you bought them.